All right, Chiefs. Excellent job getting these bullets in. So what I like to do is I pasted them all into a Google Doc here. As you can see, straight up cut and paste. Don't know who wrote these to the best of my ability. I like to just look at them all naked like this and just give my thoughts as I read them. So this is usually the most helpful part. And I like to take any unconscious bias out by doing it this way. So here we go. I won't obviously have time to read through every single bullet. So what I'm going to do is skim like an actual reader would, see what jumps out at me, and just give my comments as I go. And I will try to give equal time to everybody. So starting with want copywriting clients, Chris reveals his simple 10-minute technique for landing new paying clients. This technique works 5 times faster in 2020. Okay, pretty good bullet. Solid. It's got good rhythm. It's got good punch. One little note is don't use the same word twice in a bullet. It just diminishes, unless it's like really on purpose. Want new copywriting clients? Chris reveals his simple 10-minute technique for landing new paying clients. I'm going to say I do know who this is because I gave you feedback and I remember that you were the first entry. And so good job like adding in this, what I recommended, giving it more curiosity. I would look to go a little even deeper with their like growth motivator, 10-minute oxygen mindset. That's pretty good. That's unique. The thing you want to do with these little quoted things is try to look for something really unique they said about it. Or even like take it to the next level and equate it to, I guess 10-minute is like just, it's okay. It gives me a frame of, oh, this is simple and it only takes 10 minutes. So it's good. But the next level of it would be like, what else takes 10 minutes? And it could be I don't know what takes 10 minutes, oil change technique or something. They're always bragging about a 10-minute oil change. At least here in the States they do. But so, it's just like something to make go, damn, what the hell is that? Like 10 minute is 10 minutes, right? But look for creative ways to just brainstorm. What else could I call up a 10-minute that would create even more curiosity? All right. So good job on that. Overall, I think these bullets, again, solid. Like you understand the structure well. Let's read another one. Discover the oxygen mindset that forces new freelance copywriters to burst into rapid growth. This is endorsed by John Crolton and helps you get good 5 times fast and get paid 5 times more. So I would look, be careful with, again, repeating 2 things. Like, so now we 5 times faster twice. Like you gotta, as a copywriter, force yourself to say, okay, I already said that. What's the better way to say it? I got to say it again different. This is kind of the internal work we do as copywriters that nobody sees, where we sit and we fret over a phrase and we get out the thesaurus and we look for ways to say it in a way that definitely hasn't been said already in the same copy and maybe ever. Like just challenge yourself as the the wordsmithing part of copywriting is finding ways to state things that haven't been used but are still clear. Watch movies and take notes of dialogue and be very conscious. And when you read novels, be very conscious of authors, actors, directors, screenwriters, or whoever, people who are good at this. Elmore Leonard is one of the great dialogue writers, and he's great with a catchy phrases and things. And so pay attention in life all around you to who's great at stating things in ways that aren't commonplace, and just have a running file of those kinds of phrases. And that is a real secret weapon for a copywriter. All right. So good stuff, but look to take it to the next level. You got the formula down. I feel like you probably did read these out loud, but now hopefully I'm giving you new things to catch when you do. So good job. Next, why the first dollar you earn is a valuable reminder. Tip, hang it up on the wall like they do in local restaurants. Okay, so for me, this is a little vague. Is a valuable reminder, of what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the tricky thing with bullets is being short, punchy, but still giving context. That's the real magic of a good bullet. It's an important lens to read bullets through. To me, one of the things we all study controls, and if David Deutsch is an incredible fascinations writer. Really study bullets. If you're going to handwrite something, I would handwrite bullets and say, wow, like what did they leave out of this? And what did they make sure to include that makes me get what they're talking about? Like, what are the small combinations of words that are giving me the context I need to make this exciting? Right? Those are the lessons. One thing is also just stylistically, I'm not a fan of doing every word capped in bullets like you would a headline. It just makes it feel, you want bullets to be almost like they were dashed off super quick and they feel conversational. And when you I think it's called camel case, cap the first word of letter of every word, it gives it a formality that makes me read it differently. So look to write them more like this, where you're just. I think it's actually pretty cool to kind of uh, capitalize phrases like this, but for the most part, it should be just lowercase normal speak. So good job there, but make sure you give the context. The 98% rule: how to become ultra confident when talking with clients. Okay, that's good. I mean, it's like a straight ahead bullet. I get what the benefit is. The 98% rule, that's a little bit disconnected, but it's good. How new copywriters can explode their career by creating a client laboratory. It's good, but to me, it's like, is that sexy to me, to having to create a client laboratory? Like that feels like work. Like if I'm still struggling to, maybe like a more interesting version of this, because the concept is a client laboratory, right? That's sort of the interesting part here. So I'd go, uh, uh, the client lab rat trick. Top copywriters know about how to explode your career, something like that, and then more context or whatever. But it's easy for me to sit here and half riff a thing, right? But you see how it's different. Like it's like, ooh, client lab rat. It's it's a little derogative, but if you can balance it out with, oh, I bet, it kind of equates to like you're going to be learning on your client's dime anyway. And if you look at it like an experiment, that's how you grow. It's a lot to get across there. But the point is, if we spend half the bullet with a sort of like generic promise, how new copywriters can explode their careers, and then cram in this interesting part of curiosity, I think it's kind of a waste of real estate, right? And I'll look for an example where this is maybe done better in a later bullet. But your thinking is right. There's good curiosity, but think about using the whole statement as a way to make me curious. And again, the goal of these bullets for all of you is to think about the reader gets this email, and it might just take one bullet, but they're going to scan these bullets and go, okay, am I curious enough to go listen to this episode? Am I going to make time to listen to this episode based on what's being told to me here? So it's got to be clear, and there's got to be some unique stuff in there for them to want to do that. By getting in the arena leads to freedom and copy skills fast. It's pretty good, very direct. How Chris used his bat signal skill to go from solo freelancer to madman agency owner. That's pretty good. That's solid. That tells me a story. Very good. Again, though, let's not like cap all these. I think I already said that. Okay. Good. All right. Some really good stuff in there. Keep at it. Make them more conversational. Make every word earn its place. All right. Next, how Chris's invest first mindset can help you successfully deliver projects as a new freelance copywriter. Invest first mindset can help you successfully deliver projects. Yeah, it's good. It makes me feel like though it doesn't give me that, oh my god, I gotta know what that is. Invest first feels a little like I kind of know what that must be, but I'm not, it doesn't bring across the energy that Chris probably talked about that with. So maybe it's like gambler's mindset. Like investors are essentially gamblers, like Vegas crap table mentality, something like that, right? Like sex it up, ramp it up. Like again, even if that's exactly what Chris called it, um, call it something else. Be the creative copywriter here and find what to call this. That's gonna make me go, man. I gotta understand what that is. Mind switch, shameless approach, can turbocharge your business. They don't use it. I like that shameless approach. It's pretty cool. This is good. When to step off the paycheck cliff and go full time. I like that. Um, yeah, this is you know, typically we avoid multi-syllabic words, but counterintuitives. It's got a nice rhythm, and I think people know the word. But again, just make sure you're using the shortest words possible so people can just skim right through these. Um, Peace in number strategy will help you sleep at night knowing your business zone. That's pretty good. That's a solid bullet. Um, so what I would do here is like, okay, you're making a declaration that this thing is going to give you that. What would be more interesting as a bullet to me is why learning Chris, or why hearing Chris talk about his peace in numbers strategy will help you sleep at night knowing your business is on track, something like that, right? Because otherwise it's like I have to just believe that, okay, this thing is actually going to have this big effect on me, but it's like bring me into the moment of actually hearing him talk about it, right? That's what we want, is them to like transport themselves mentally into the act of doing the thing you're trying to get them to do. um, Chris reveals the highs and lows of starting an agency, of what it actually takes to make it work. So that's good, but it'd be cool there if there was like a quote from him, like, it nearly killed me, something like that, or I was ready to quit, something like that. It doesn't have to be negative, but the highs and lows we're talking about. So we want some drama. So this would be a great place for a quote right here. Um, I told my wife I was done, or whatever it was. Um, cool. All right, good. I got to keep moving here. How Chris went from an unpaid wrestling coach to owning one of the most popular boutique copyright agencies in the country. The new Madmen of Copy reveals all. See, that's good. This is like a magazine cover style bullet where it kind of tells me the whole story. I like this because it's not as punchy and attention stealing, but I think it's smart to have a bullet in a podcast episode description like this where it's like, okay, what is this really about and what am I going to get from this? This is almost more of a episode description, than it is like a fascination style bullet. But I like it because it tells me the story, and yeah. So it's a little unconventional for quote unquote bullet, but It's very well written, and I like what it does. All right, the tractor beam persuasion secret Chris learned from a wrestling coach that he still uses to captivate audiences and get the sale. Plus, how you can use the same formula to boost your copy's persuasive power is pretty good. Tractor beam. See, but this is a great example. If you're still watching, and I criticized one of your naming devices earlier, this is it. Tractor beam persuade. What the hell is that? And I don't know. I don't remember if Chris said the word tractor beam or not, but it doesn't matter because the copywriter interpreted whatever that is, whatever was said into, well, oh, that's like a tractor beam, and now it makes me super curious. Sounds like something inherently that would help me to know the tractor beam persuasion secret, right? So that's very good. Sneaky strategy used by high-level marketers to make yourself the only copy writer clients want to hire. Watch out for this mistake 80% of novice copywriters make that's guaranteed to cut your income in half or worse. This double loss mentality drives many freelancers in. Good. Getting me excited. I really like this bullet. The poverty ditch. See, you know what this has? This has nice rhythm. It's interesting to read. And the story unfolds as I read the bullet. You see. Watch out for this mistake. 80%. Watch out. Very clear instructions. Warning. Watch out. Oh, shit. Watch out. You can't ignore a phrase like watch out. You have to look up and go, watch out. What am I watching out for? Emergency. Watch out for this mistake 80% of novice copywriters make that's guaranteed to cut your income in half. Oh, goodness, no. Right? This is an emergency. I got to know what this is. Or worse, this double loss mentality drives many freelancers into the poverty ditch. Damn. So you see how congruent this all is? 80% make this mistake. And by the way, normally, if you put this many sort of like numbers, equations into a bullet, it can get dangerous fast because the brain is having to do math. But the way this is laid out and worded, it didn't have that effect. I didn't have to work to understand it. Watch out for this mistake 80% of novice copywriters make that's guaranteed to cut your income in half. We've got two numbers so far, or worse. This double loss, new equation, mentality drives many freelancers into the poverty. This is a damn good bullet. I love this bullet. The cocky, oh my God, what did I just say moment. Okay, see? This is what I'm talking about. Use dialogue. The cocky, oh my God, what did I just say moment that pushed Chris to copy glory. You don't want to miss this eye-opening reveal starting at 23:30. That's so good. Again, so there's not a ton of context in here but this dialogue is so compelling. If this is what he said out loud or thought after he said it, that's drama. I want to go see what conflict what led to that moment. Oh my God, what did I just say? That's a scary moment. That gets your full attention. So I want to hear the story around that. Forget the do what you love narrative. Chris explains why focusing on the things you hate will help you pick a niche and blow clients away with your copy skills. Chris explains why focusing on the things you hate will help you. Interesting. Yeah, again, very counterintuitive. How to use the scrap principle to seize control of your brain and overcome devastating fear of failure. It's like a neurological emergency brake that stops worry dead in. Jesus, I don't know who this is, but this is good. Really good stuff. Forget the do what you love. No, okay, we did that one. Yeah, I see I'm reading every one of these bullets. I can't help myself. And so that's why I like to do these like this, because if you're forcing me to read the bullets and get me excited, that's how it's easy to kind of pick a winner. Okay, strange and completely counterintuitive way to command bigger fees by giving away your leads. Good. The dark reality of being a course creator no one talks about, and why launching a course despite the negatives will make you an unbeatable business machine. See, again, it's like just when you thought you kind of knew what this was about, it gets flipped in the parenthetical. Despite the it's like, why this will almost kill you and you have to do it anyway, right? It's kind of like, now I gotta go listen. Got no choice. That's a bullet. It leaves me powerless against it to not care. I don't want to care. The reader doesn't want to care about they know what we're trying to do. We're trying to win their attention, and they have plans for their attention, you know? And this is what when we talk about, no one likes being sold, but they love being sold something that gets them excited. Does that make sense? I'm butchering that quote, whatever it is, but it's that mentality of no one likes the idea of being sold to, like, oh, you're trying to sell me something, but we love having been sold if it was good. You know, you ever have a really good salesperson come to your house to give you a quote on, I don't know, lawn service or whatever it is, and they get you excited and they win you over and they have some charm and you feel a bit of a bond with them, and they're not, you know what I mean? They're just you instantly want to have this person in your world and be a part of their service, and, or they're just, you know, even if you're like us and you can see sales happening, they're so good. I remember a guy came to our house to sell us an alarm system once, and we were just, my wife and I were like gleefully putty in his hands. We were just like wanted to tip him for selling us so well. You know what I mean? It's rare, but this is what it means to be sold well. I don't want you to win my attention. I want to not care and go find something else. But when you do it, I appreciate it, and now I'm excited. I feel like optimistic that listening to this episode is going to give me this great experience. That's what a great bullet does. How to jumpstart your freelancing career even if you're surrounded by fierce competition. This never fail method works every time, and it doesn't matter if you're new to copywriting or never had a client. Well, this is the contender right here. Every bullet works. And by the way this is not a competition so much as it is a challenge. And the way I judge the bullets to ultimately choose a winner is, would I copy and paste these into our promotion without even wanting to change a word? You know, there's no typos, there's no confusion, there's no like wrong information. They were written with care, and they're ready to go. And I feel like adding them into the promotion will only help us get more listeners. That's the criteria. And so if I'm not choosing you, it's this is just what you want to get to. This is why this is such a great challenge, is we all get to learn. And it's so great that everybody enters this, because no matter where you are, you're going to learn so much from actively engaging in this and hearing my feedback and seeing how your peers, your friends, you're in a safe place like this, what they came up with. And then maybe you'll go study some of their other stuff, or you'll pay a little extra attention when they're giving a critique or whatever. This is how we form our community. So kudos to everybody who's got words in this document. All right. From New Jersey school teacher to world-class copywriter, learn how Chris Orzechowski designed his own life and took the e-commerce world by storm. That's very good. By the way, I liked it in the first one you use his full name. That's one thing I was going to mention before. It's okay because it'll, leading up to this, it'll say, hey, my interview's with Chris Orzechowski, so they'll know. But it's good to use the full name, I think, in the first time you mention it when possible. So extra points for that. The power of chance encounters, how a lightning bolt on a page sparked the career of a world-class copywriter and gave rise to a top-flight marketing agency. Good, but so far between these two bullets, I'm not learning anything new. I feel like you're kind of repeating the same story in a different way. So just one thing to be conscious of, like, again, like this one, like every bullet tells me something new that I'm going to experience by listening to, and I go, wow, I'll give 40 minutes of my time to this because I'm going to hear all these great stories. It's going to be a great conversation, right? Here it's like, all right, well, I get it. This guy's started a great agency, and what else am I going to learn, right? So just be conscious of that. This is again, the research part of it. As you're listening, say, is this something unique? And by the way, to get to 10 bullets, we should have written, 50, and we're only taking the best 10. And so we've got all these choices, and we can throw out any that feel like they're not delivering something new, right? Okay. Learning copywriting, getting your first client can feel like climbing a cliff, but this one thing will get you running up the mountain face. It's not the thrill of seeing your work published. That's pretty good. I mean, it's just solid bullets. These are well written. I can tell they're written with care. We want this to be a little punchier, and it's not the thrill of seeing your work published. Because again, I don't know that I thought that's what it was, and so usually when we do like, and hint it's not this or whatever, it should be. I know you thought it was this, but it's not. And for me, I wouldn't have thought. But this one thing will get you running up the mountain face. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I could have thought it was that. Again, nothing wrong with these bullets. I just want a little more punch. But Dan, don't abandon your style of being more conversational. If you look back through some of these challenges, I often pick someone who just writes in a different way, and they have a very clear voice. And I can tell you just by scanning these, you have a very consistent style. And so that's good. A lot of times I remember in these, that's who won, was the person who was like, this is a different style of bullet, but they're consistent and they're interesting. And at the end of the day, it isn't about there's a certain way to write these. It's about who wrote the most compelling stuff. All right. Learning copywriting, getting your first. Okay, I did it. Learn John Carlton's simple, life-giving advice for kickstarting your copywriting business, pumping cash into its veins. Yeah, again, this is a little generic. It just feels like it's an excuse to name John Carlton, right? And again, give me context. Like, how did this affect Chris? Remember, we're talking about a guy and his story, his journey. This whole episode is his freelancer's journey. So it's like, well, did John come on for a minute? Give me context for how did this affect Chris? And yeah, I don't know. I'd use his full name every time. The one thing you'll need to conquer high wire terror of moving from your paycheck. Yeah, good. Again, just a lot of kind of like similar stuff. And it's not making me get like super excited about how much I'm going to learn. Everything's about bringing, clients. And again, if this is where your focus is, that's your filter, and that's okay. This is what you got from the episode. But remember, we have to write for the listener who may not care about the same things as you. Okay, cool. Check it out. A Jersey boy's wild adventure from frustrated wrestling coach to in-demand Mad Men-esque agency owner. Pretty good. What's going on in my brain? How Chris stumbled onto the tractor beam effect and leveraged it for greater reach and authority in his budding copywriting career. Okay, cool. So Chris obviously called it that. But again, this is really good. I love this. Again, we think of magazine covers and they get you at the checkout. Those bullets on magazine covers are there very specifically to catch the person in line at the checkout counter, make them. You've seen watch people when they read those in the line. This will make your next trip to Target a lot more interesting, or the grocery store. Copywriters are like thrilled when there's a line because we get to watch people, and there's nothing greater to me than watching someone peruse the magazines and see if they can't resist pulling the magazine out of the rack and flip into that page. It's seeing the best of copy in action, right? So that's kind of what this reminds me of. What's going on in my brain is like, yeah, maybe I was wondering that too. What's going on in my brain? What is this tractor beam effect? I'll flip to that. This guy in front of me's got 70 coupons, so I'm going to be here a minute. All right. Why it just doesn't matter what you get paid for your first gig. Instead, Kevin explains it's the experience of blank, blank, and blank. That's how you become an actual professional. Yeah, that's good. Great curiosity. I definitely want to know what these are. Blanks are very effective. Use them once per batch of bullets, but love them. Very effective. The 7 surprising and success-enhancing advantages of shameless whore copywriting. Ha! Number 7 is a jaw dropper. Very good. Very, very good. Itching to give up your day job. This brass ball strategy beats back the terror of losing your paycheck so you can finally be the independent full-time copywriter you dream of. Very good. Catch the secret for getting on Papa Kev's coveted shortlist of recommended copywriters. Psst, dial in this one thing and you're on your way. Very good. Middle of the night, shit talking yourself. So good. So, yeah. You know, I mean, Carlton always says the copywriter's job is to be the person who's going to knock the reader out of their zombie state, make them sit up and lean in. That's the little gift we give to people. And that's, you know, the cost of entry. If we can get them to laugh, like I just did, sit up, lean in and go, what is this? We've done our job. If you miss that, if your copy doesn't do that, it's dead. It's dead. And John was saying this 20 years ago, at least. And how much crowded has people's little brain pans gotten since then? You get it? And then when you read John's stuff, that's what you see is like, this is impossible to ignore copy. That's what you take from Carlton and Halbert, really any great, but Carlton in particular. He just grabs you by the lapels and you go, damn, I am not going to forget what I just read and I need to read more. This has that middle of the night shit talking yourself. That's so freaking good. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words that brought me visually. I can see this happening. I can admit this, doing this. Middle of the night shit talking yourself is great, great copy. Even the most successful entrepreneurs do it. Don't miss out on Chris's fast-acting cure to nip doomsday worry and refocus on growing your business. Damn it. This is good stuff. Great. How a tiny baby, so good. Inspired Chris's biggest, boldest evolution. The takeaway, getting your hands dirty is key to transformation, and no, it has nothing to do with changing diapers. Ha, very good. See, that's and no, it doesn't have to do with getting your hands dirty. No, it's not changing diapers. You see what I mean? Direct connection. How a tiny, I love that you said that, how having a baby, how becoming a father, of course it had an impact. How a tiny baby inspired Chris's biggest, boldest evolution. What is it his tiny baby? What's his tiny baby? You know, did he hear it crying walking down the street? Did he find it in an alley? What's his tiny baby? See how much more intriguing that is than, say, how becoming a father? Oh, that feels like manipulation. Of course I'm supposed to be moved by what it was like for him to become a father, but I don't want to give a shit. Want Chris O level connections, clout and confidence. His skills explosion advice is a goldmine for aspiring A-listers. Even the sucky, terrible parts will accelerate your copy career. Man, another batch of knock 'em dead pro bullets. Again, would immediately copy paste this into a promo with pride. Very, very, very good. A high school teacher who finally cracks the code on earning thousands of dollars by sending Google Docs with words. Good. Captures some of the spirit of the conversation. But if ever we can avoid things like crack the code, it's just been written so many millions of times. It becomes ignorable to anybody And again, you have to consider the market for this podcast is copywriters. And so they probably can't scan past a phrase like crack the code fast enough. Again, super fine to write this in the beginning. You're writing, you're getting your legs under you, but look for common phrases and see if you can find another way to say it. The chain reaction, why you should choose fame over money when you're starting out. I like that. It's counterintuitive, but you didn't go out of your way to say the counterintuitive thing that, you know what I mean? You just made it counterintuitive and it made it interesting. Very good. Well, here it is here. The counterintuitive startup mentality that's okay. But again, I always want to compare these two. This bullet's so much better than this one because you just showed me counterintuitive rather than tell me that's what it was. You see? Cool. How did Chris go from being just an email guy to becoming sole authority on e-commerce? I would say e-commerce email. Discover the philosophy he used to go super deep into his niche and tap into this mutant copy ability. Pretty good. One tempting bait, even experienced coverage is like take. That's pretty good. Revealed. Dirty secret about the business of online courses that marketers hide from you and other traps to look out for. Pretty good. Pretty general, though. I would, again, like to know, like, just give me a little bit of Chris's story about how this affected him. But, again, I love the magazine cover style. Revealed. Okay, moving on. Never work for free, right? Not necessarily. Discover the clever way Chris leveraged the free project to land his first paying client. Good. The common advice you see in Facebook groups that'll cost you clients. The next time you see this, keep scrolling. Good. I had some balls. It's great, but it's just I need a little more context. I love that you did this, whoever you are. It, clearly you knew you were being unconventional by just putting that quote in there, but to me it's a hit and a miss because I don't know. I appreciate that in the idea of skimming, like this stands out because it's a different length and it's a bold statement. So in that regard, I'm with it, but a bullet should have enough context to tell me why it mattered that he had some balls or something. Negotiations, good. The magic sentence Chris uses when a client pushes back on his fees. You're going to want to write this one down so you can use it word for word. It's very good. Nice promise there. I'm going to have something I can see myself writing it down. Still trying to decide on your niche. Just do the exact opposite of what most people do. Good, but a little vague. Chris's trick for boosting your confidence and eliminating self-doubt takes just 2 minutes and makes you feel like a badass. Good, but again, a little vanilla. So you want to be Don Draper or Peggy Olson? Here's how to start an agency without sacrificing your personal life. In fact, Chris's newborn son was the reason he started his agency. It's good, but it's telling me too much. Compare this to the tiny baby bullet from before, right? Okay, good. Next, high school wrestling coach turned Michelin star email copywriter Chris shares his journey. Again, kind of like that first bullet giving me a sort of a summary of what I'm going to get. It's good. The exact moment Chris felt the impact of copywriting and discovered internet money was real. It's good. 2 things copywriters can learn about getting customers from Silicon Valley elites who have started billion-dollar companies. Think Facebook, Airbnb, and Google. So this is where I'd want to use things, or maybe choose one and give it a name. The blah 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 blah. The dinkity donk line mindset or gambler's gene, or you know what I mean. It would have just made this come alive a little bit for me. How you can lose twice as a newbie copywriter, listening to conventional advice on Facebook groups, and how to properly price yourself when starting. Um, yeah, I love what you're saying here. Again, whoever wrote these are like super clear. I know what I'm getting, and clarity is so important. So this writer's doing a great job of being super clear. Um, but lose twice, I just want a little more context on that. I feel like that could be sexier. Learn how Chris charged hourly working with one client. 90% of the people avoid this in negotiations. Yeah, because you know why? Chris's surprising revelation about why charging hourly can sometimes double your pay with a client, something like that, right? Power of iteration, what great copywriters have in common with great wrestlers. Yep. Okay, good. These are really clear. These are good bullets. You're writing. The good news is whoever wrote these, you're amazing at getting your bullets super clear. And now all you need to do is spice them up a little bit. Give them a little more, put a little twist on the context. Put some fun phrases in there, and you're good. But yeah, this is a solid foundation to build on. When somebody can't write with clarity, they got to fix that first, and you're way ahead of the game on that. All right, how the shit got real when reinvesting onto yourself. The side effect, you got your first paying client. How the shit got real when reinvesting onto yourself. That's a little confusing. Practice a shameless whore method to 2x the winnings and cut the time by half. Cut the time. So be clear here, like, don't say like cut the time, cut your writing time by half. Obviously, I'm a little thrown off by these, how some phrases, a lot of phrases are capitalized. Again, it just feels a little formal. I'd rather just see you write in normal casing. How to find your superhero power and identity, which even some top copywriters struggle to. Yeah. So these are good. What you're saying is good. I'm gonna go ahead on a limb here and guess that English is not your first language, and that's totally fine. It just means that, I'm still struggling with English, and that's my only language. So, major respect to anybody who writes in a second or third language, a non-native language, and can write compelling copy like this. I would just say that you've got to take a little extra care to make sure that if you're writing to an English-speaking audience, little things like this don't reveal that, right? You don't want that to get in the way of the persuasion. So how to find your superhero power and identity, which even some top copywriters struggle. Maybe you meant to write to do, probably. You just missed a word. But just make sure you're taking that extra bit of time to make sure the language is super, super clear. Okay, cool. So good. Again, just for these, kind of the opposite of these. A lot of zip and pizzazz in these, and needed more clarity in this batch. All right, how Chris's life went from Varsity Blues to Mad Men in just a couple years. That's pretty good. As long as I know this movie. A wrestling podcast gave Chris the confidence to interview national champions. Again, cool fact that I haven't heard anybody else mention, but why did this help him? What did it do for him? Holy crap, sign me up. Again, great use of quote there. One thing said for copywriters, origin stories share per Kevin, early hustle. Yeah, too vague. I got to work to make all this make sense. In bullets, the reader cannot have to work at all. So just keep that in mind when you look back at these. Like, make sure every bullet punches. It's called a bullet because it gets shot right into your brain, through your eyes, into your brain, and has a huge impact. That's what a bullet has to do. At least that's what I call them, bullets. Okay, last one. How Chris's life, wrestling, holy crap, sign me up. Okay, that was the last one. Kevin recently finds his first ever spreadsheet of jobs. Yeah, again, cool, but like, why? Like, who cares, right? What, uh, how, how stumbling across an old spreadsheet of jobs shocked Kevin into remembering that he was charging way less than he remembered, or something like that. Give me some context and like, oh my god, well, how much was he charge? You'll probably be shocked to hear his numbers too, or something. Like then I was like, damn, I gotta go hear what he was charging, right? So give me that context. Okay, so there you go. I hope this was helpful. I love doing this, and again, major kudos to all of you who entered. You are all now better writers than you were when you did this. Whether I'm gloating on you or tearing apart your efforts here, I respect you all the same because you did the work. And this is how we grow. Nobody wakes up a brilliant copywriter. You can just see people's experience and the time they put in the difference here, and that's all we're all aspiring to. So something else I like to do, because this video's super long, I don't know how long it is, but if you watched this entire video and you're still hearing my voice right now, do me a favor, reply with the word tennis ball, because I'm looking at a tennis ball on my desk, tennis ball, and I'll know you watched this whole video, and that will tell me a lot about your dedication to getting better as a copywriter. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. Great job. And I'll go reveal the winner now.